Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sort through, well, all the noise out there to bring you clear insights on big stories.
And today, we have a really big one.
Yeah, we're diving into something our source calls, and I quote, a historic, mind-blowing move that genuinely shook things up globally.
We're unpacking this huge announcement. The One Africa government has unified all 55 African military armies. All of them.
Into a single continental force. It's now called the One Africa Defense Force, or OADF.
That's the one. Our information today, just so you know, comes from excerpts of a YouTube video transcript.
Right, the video's titled, Shocking. One Africa government takes over all 55 military armies. And it's from the channel, Supreme Africa Breaking News.
So our mission here is to really explore this history being made live and direct, as they put it.
We want to get into how this even happened because it's pretty unprecedented.
Definitely. And what it actually means for Africa and, the ripple effects we're seeing around the world.
Yeah, we want you to walk away with a solid grasp of it all without feeling, totally swamped by the scale of it.
Okay, so let's start with the core announcement itself. This isn't just some minor policy change.
The source really paints it as the dawn of an entirely new era for Africa.
Exactly. So why is this unification seen as so groundbreaking?
Well, if you look at Africa's military history, it's often been fragmented, right? Lots of different armies, sometimes tensions across borders.
Divided loyalties, fragmented armies, and cross-border tension is how the source puts it. This move is framed as a shift away from all that.
Towards something.
Yeah.
Well, united, robust, and proudly independent. That's the language used. It's about collective strength.
And the surprise factor is huge. The source actually says, not even your smartest uncle saw this coming.
Yeah. Which tells you something about how unexpected this was on the world stage.
So given how huge this is, how did it actually happen? Getting 55 nations to agree on anything, let alone merging armies, secretly?
Yeah, the secrecy aspect is fascinating. The source points to someone they call Chairman Shadow.
Okay, who's Chairman Shadow?
Described as a top-level insider. According to him, this whole thing was greenlit at a classified African Union summit in Addis Ababa.
Classified summit. Okay, yeah. But still, 55 heads of state.
All of them. Unanimous agreement, which is, well, almost unbelievable in itself.
Unanimous. Wow. Okay. And the planning, how was that kept quiet?
That's maybe even more audacious. The source talks about clandestine moves.
Meaning
this integration plan was apparently worked on in secret for 3 years.
3 years?
Disguised as regular regional security meetings. Just standard stuff on the surface.
Wow. That's some serious long-term strategy. And coordination.
Yeah, apparently generals from key countries, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Egypt, were the ones discreetly coordinating it all.
Chairman Shadow had an analogy for it, didn't he?
He did. He said it was like watching a master chess match, quiet, deliberate moves, culminating in a sudden, decisive checkmate.
That paints a picture. Keeping something that big under wraps for so long, it says a lot about the commitment behind it.
Absolutely. So the decision is made, the plan executed in secret. What does this OADF actually look like now? How's it structured?
Well, the initial picture suggests something pretty powerful and centralized.
Centralized where?
The command is based at an undisclosed high-tech facility, somewhere in Tanzania.
Okay, high-tech, undisclosed. And the individual armies.
They're merged. All 55 national armies are now part of this single continental structure. They'll have joint training, shared resources.
Makes sense. And bases.
Strategic bases located across critical points in Africa. The whole setup seems geared for reach and rapid response.
And the mission, you mentioned it earlier.
Very direct. To defend Africa from both external meddling and internal threats, period.
Period. That's it. Simple, clear, unified. Quite a shift.
It really is, which naturally leads us to the reaction elsewhere. How did this go down, say, in the West?
Not well. According to the source, the immediate reaction, total disbelief, followed quickly by panic.
Panic, really?
Yeah. The source mentions leaked Pentagon audio. Apparently frantic conversations, people asking, how did we miss this? And who approved this operation? Like, genuine shock.
So, caught completely off guard.
Seems so. And that shock apparently gave way to a pretty stark realization.
What was that?
Security analysts in Europe, again, this is according to the source, privately acknowledged this unified African army just stripped the West of massive strategic leverage overnight.
Wow. Overnight, so the implications are huge.
Exactly. Think about it. No more unchecked foreign military bases, drone operations without African approval, or puppet regimes. That's the potential consequence highlighted.
The source puts it bluntly, the game has changed and Africa is setting the rules.
A complete reversal, really, from being a stage for other powers to, well, setting its own terms.
So turning it around, from Africa's viewpoint, why this? Why now? What was the internal push?
There's a quote from General Umoja, described as an AU advisor, former commander, that seems to capture it.
What did he say?
Pretty simply, decades of internal conflict have weakened Africa. Unified strength is the only way forward. It's framed as a necessity for stability, for progress.
Makes sense. Unity as a strategic imperative.
Right. And there's also a little human touch. The source adds a bit of humor from the generals involved.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, old national rivalries, like the eternal battle over who makes the best jollof rice, have transformed into unified strategic discussions.
Huh. Okay, for anyone listening who doesn't know, the jollof rice debate is a very serious, friendly rivalry in West Africa.
Exactly. So using that as an example, it shows how even those deep-seated cultural competitions are being channeled into this united front.
That's a great little detail. It makes it feel more real. But what about everyday people? What were the reactions on the street?
The source highlights some of those real voices, real emotions. And it's mostly hope, maybe tinged with a bit of practical skepticism, and like you said, humor.
Like what? Any examples?
Yeah, a trader in Lagos apparently asked, does this finally mean peace across borders? No more checkpoints asking for bribes. You know, the real-world impact.
That hits home. What else?
A young person in Johannesburg. One military means we control our destiny. This is real independence. That sense of self-determination comes through strong.
And practical concerns, too.
Definitely. A tech entrepreneur in Nairobi saw it as a way to protect our digital space without Western interference.
Interesting angle.
And even a student in Harar, joking, hopefully our economy learns from our military, united and effective.
Whew. A little pointed humor there, but it shows how this military unification resonates with broader hopes for stability, sovereignty, even economic improvement.
Absolutely. It touches everything.
So thinking about structure again, Chairman Shadow, the insider, apparently shared some details on the leadership model. How do you actually run something this massive?
It sounds like they've put thought into avoiding dominance by any single group. It's described as a revolutionary leadership model.
Okay, how does it work?
There's a supreme commander, but that position rotates annually among the top generals.
Ah, rotation. Smart. Prevents power consolidation.
Seemed to be the idea. Then there's a Continental Security Council.
Made up of?
Senior representatives from all the major regions, North, South, East, West, and Central Africa. So regional balance.
Right. And specialized units.
Yeah, dedicated divisions for things like cyber defense, intelligence, drone tech, rapid response teams, modern stuff.
So it's designed for broad input, adaptability, and focusing on current threats.
And the overall goal, as Shadow apparently stated, is absolute security and strategic autonomy. That phrase keeps coming up.
Strategic autonomy, taking control. It really ties into the historical context, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, historically, Africa's military landscape was fragmented, and the source argues that this allowed outside powers to easily manipulate conflicts and exploit divisions.
Right, divide and conquer, essentially.
Exactly. So a unified military fundamentally changes this narrative dramatically.
So how is it different, say, from an alliance like NATO? Is it just an African NATO?
That's a really important distinction the source makes. It's not like NATO or even the U.S. military structure in terms of accountability.
Meaning?
The OADF, according to the source, answers only to Africans. There's no external veto power, no foreign agenda. It's presented as purely African-led and African-focused.
That's a powerful claim. And the source suggests this changes Africa's global position.
Significantly. It argues this catapults Africa into global superpower territory.
Based on what?
The combination of unmatched resources, youthful populations, and now unified military strength. It's the whole package. So the message is Africa's voice just got seriously louder.
Right. And not just militarily. This leverage is seen as translating into real power in other areas.
Like economics and politics.
Yeah. The ability to enforce independent economic and political policies, dictate fair trade terms, and protect natural resources. It's about having genuine clout in international negotiations.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, you mentioned the international reactions earlier, the shock and panic. But the source also highlighted some, well, funnier takes.
Yeah, comedic shock mixed with thinly veiled concern is how it's put. Some quotes are pretty telling.
Let's hear them.
There was a U.S. commentator quoted as saying, First Afro-Gold, now this unified army. Someone tell Africa this wasn't part of the script.
Heh. Captures the surprise, right? That feeling of things going off plan from a Western perspective.
Totally. Then a French diplomat apparently joked, nervously, "Does this mean we have to give back stolen treasures now?"
Ooh, hitting on those colonial legacies and the potential power shift, that's revealing.
And maybe my favorite, a British analyst who apparently noted sarcastically, "Unified African Army sounds like Wakanda wasn't fiction after all."
Right. That blend of surprise, maybe a little disbelief, acknowledging this almost fictional ideal becoming reality.
It really underscores how unexpected and paradigm-shifting this feels to outsiders.
So looking ahead, what are the immediate next steps for this new OADF? What are the priorities?
Insiders, according to the source, point to a few key areas. First, technology.
Like what?
Developing African-built drones and satellites. Enhancing those continental defense capabilities with homegrown tech.
Makes sense for autonomy. What else?
Addressing ongoing conflicts. Swift resolution is apparently a goal for areas like the Sahel, the Horn of Africa, the Great Lakes region.
Tackling internal instability.
Exactly. And building the infrastructure for rapid mobilization across the continent, making this unified force truly effective on the ground.
So consolidating, stabilizing, and building capacity sounds like a full agenda.
No kidding, they're not wasting time.
And there was a final thought from someone named Takunda in the source material, right? About the deeper meaning.
Yeah, Takunda's final word really sums up the spirit of it. It's emphasized that this isn't just about tanks, drones, or uniforms.
It's symbolic.
Deeply symbolic
Yeah.
of unity, dignity, pride, and genuine independence. It marks an end to that era being fragmented and exploited.
And the beginning of something new. Africa as a single unstoppable force.
A force whose unity commands global respect, not by asking politely, but through decisive action and united strength.
It truly heralds Africa's sovereignty in its purest form. That's powerful language.
It is. Africa's security is now in Africa's hands. And the source concludes, this is truly Africa's century.
Wow. And before we finish, the source also makes a point of connecting this moment back to historical figures, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It briefly honors those African heroes who dreamed of this kind of unity. People like Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara.
Visionaries who pushed for a united, self-determined Africa when it seemed impossible.
Exactly. The source stresses that their visions were not in vain.
Because today's reality, as presented here, is an Africa that's strong, unified, and fiercely independent.
And this new army is seen as embodying their courage, resilience, and unwavering commitment to African sovereignty. It connects the past struggle to this present achievement.
A very powerful connection to make.
So wrapping up this deep dive, we've explored this absolutely monumental shift. The unification of Africa's military is presented as a game changer for the continent and the world.
It really makes you think. If, as the source suggests, this kind of unity and defense can transform Africa's global standing so profoundly.
What about other areas? Could we see similar transformations maybe in economics or culture or science through greater continental unity?
That's the big question, isn't it? What does true strategic autonomy really look like for Africa beyond just the military dimension? Something to ponder.